In society, we tend to take things for granted, and we don't give recognition to certain people until they're too far gone. This is my attempt at giving those people their flowers. This is car culture icons. I'm not sure who or what I'm going to be talking about in this series, but for starters, this will be more of like the underground car scene. I don't want to talk about big celebrities like Paul Walker, Jay Leno, because people already like know those people. But this will be more about the Mark Arsenals of the car world. So like underground, I guess you could say, people that aren't really known or recognized as much. If you talk about OGs in the car game, Elvis Skender has got to be one of those people. The sole reason as to why Stance has blown up into what it is today, at least in the States, Elvis created a cult following under a car enthusiast blog named StanceNation. It was very difficult searching for the story. There aren't many interviews of him out there, but the origins of the blog remain true. It all started with Stance. While the origins of Stance are mostly unsure, most point to the Bosozoku in 1950s Japan as the first to interpret a controversial form of wheel fitment. Fast forward to 2007, Stance is a fairly new concept in the States, and around this time, Elvis Skender is introduced to this concept while reading VIP Car magazine. A couple years later, Elvis would start his Stance blog under the name StanceNation, posting photos of cars he found online and talking about them. Eventually, Elvis decided to take on StanceNation as an exclusive content site, working with exclusive photographers and writers. With this, the small car meets he hosted grew into car shows, and StanceNation slowly became to what it is today, the world's most recognized Stance website. Now, if you guys have gone to any StanceNation show, you guys know that these shows are built upon quality only. I've gone to two shows, 2018, 2019, and I've got to say it's one of my favorites just due to the quality alone. The cars that they hand select are great. They're actually fucking sick. So if you guys want to see what kind of cars there are, I do have both films of 2018, 2019 that I filmed up on my YouTube. They'll be linked up above, whichever side, and in the description below. They're pretty old videos, so don't judge. StanceNation has shows all over the world. The more known ones are in Japan and in Northern California, which is the home of StanceNation. So Elvis is actually from the Bay, and everyone over here regards him as a legend. If you guys know his cars, they are insane builds. They're probably one of some of the most recognized builds in the Bay Area. So he's been building amazing cars, and he's also been inspiring the next generation of Stance. And his most known cars are his LS 400, his Charger, his FRS, and his insane collection of 240s that he's had. He's described by many as one of the most humble guys out there in the game, and many people really look up to him. Literally, he's like 6'7" or something like that. Now, unfortunately, because of COVID, StanceNation as a show stopped in the States at the very least. So we are still looking forward for the next StanceNation in NorCal. So if you're watching this, Elvis, please, we need another one. Hopefully you decide to bring it back. I don't want StanceNation to end up as another Blocks Evolution, a lost show in time. I still miss Blocks. What makes StanceNation so special though is that it's more than a social media outlet, because the content they provide is purely based off of genuine love, passion, art, and the technicality of the concept of Stance. This is why I believe StanceNation will continue to prosper as it does. Now, if you look at all of their blogs and their posts on cars, you can see the breakdown on all the cars that they post. They have all the parts on there, and you can tell that the photographers and the writers of the post actually care about this side of the car community. This is my thank you to Elvis. Thank you for inspiring our community and for starting something that you probably didn't know would become into something very inspirational and changing. You basically changed the car scene, bro. Like, it's insane. So these are your flowers. We appreciate you. If no one in the car game has actually told you, I'm sure you have. But yeah, this is it. Thank you. And continue, please, to do what you do, man. My question to the audience is, what do you guys think about StanceNation? What do you guys think about Stance? What is the golden era of Stance? What's your opinion? Let me know down below. I said 2009, 2016. That's a general analyzation of, comment down below who I should talk about next. Leave a like and subscribe, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Oh, and then I also made a video on Mark Arsenal last week or 2 weeks ago, so go on ahead and check that one out if you guys haven't. It talks about him and creating the brand Illest. If you guys know what Illest is, you might be interested in that. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys.